What is going on YouTube? Today I have an awesome video for you guys. I have the iPhone 17 Pro Max in blue, dark blue. I don't remember what these names are called. Now look, I know I'm about a month too late, or however long it's been, with coming out with this video, but look, I live in Japan. I waited a day to order this because I was pondering if it was even really worth it, and I decided to pull the trigger. Shipping date October 10th to 18th or whatever, and thankfully came a day early. It's October 9th here in Japan right now, and I can give you my first impressions and unboxing of this. So with that being said, obviously a lot of reviewers have gotten this in hand. A lot of controversy has come out surrounding this phone. So if you haven't been to this channel before, just know that I kind of like to keep this a little conversational, as if I was talking to a friend and if they should go about purchasing one of these for themselves. So for a little context here, I actually switched over to the iPhone 15 Pro Max from a Google Pixel Fold that I don't have next to me right now. And I've been holding on to that as my main phone since that came out. Now the iPhone 16 Pro Max came out, and this one is my wife's, and it basically became 0.3 inches bigger, and they added a camera button. So not really kind of worth it or exciting enough for me to upgrade from my 15 Pro Max. So you may be asking yourselves, is it worth going from a 15 Pro Max or a 16 Pro Max to a 17 Pro Max? My first immediate answer to that question is absolutely not. You may be asking yourselves, well, why am I doing it? Well, one, I like to make poor financial decisions. Two, I love the game. I love the tech. You live one life, and you spend your dollary dues on things that you enjoy. One of the things I enjoy, obviously, is tech. And, as you can see from this, all this tech I got going on here. Check out my desk setup video if you haven't, by the way. So, with that being said, I will say, if you do have an iPhone before the 15 Pro Max, say the 14, 13, etc., etc. Now, those are still perfectly good phones, but I would still upgrade those for one reason and one reason only. That is USB Type-C. The fact that Apple, so many people have said this at this point, the fact that Apple has had USB Type-C on all their Pro models, like they made it such a huge deal on the MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, etc., and Europe finally made them switch over to this. That was one of the biggest factors for me to go back to Apple and give them a shot. And living out here in Japan, everyone in the United States has an iPhone, and if I'm trying to FaceTime my mom, show them her grandkids, and having her download Google Meet and showing her how that works, it's just so many like barriers to just having that connection with family, where I could just switch over to the dark side and then FaceTime, iMessage, all that. You already know how it goes. So with that being said, let me put these to the side, start the unboxing. Now this will be just my first impressions and just speaking over some of the controversies surrounding this phone, my thoughts on it. I may do a full review sometime in the future, but I mean, it's an iPhone. You guys get it, I get it, but let's just enjoy this experience together. All right, let's get into it. Simple boxage, iPhone, Apple, iPhone, Apple. Let me make sure I'm covering serial numbers and IMEIs. And simple little pull tabs on the back. Let me get these pull tags off camera so I don't dox my new phone. Alright, simple Apple fashion with those pull tags, no boxing knife necessary. Alright, now, first things first, this is the first time I've actually laid eyes on this in person. It feels nice. This feels super nice. Look, I'm geeking because this is my first experience with it. Okay, let me put this to the side real quick. Go through what else is in the box, and then I'll get back to the phone. All right, I'm done. Back to the. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, obviously you just get a USB Type-C cable, and I don't even think they throw stickers in this anymore. Oh my! There's not even paper. It's just iPhone. I guess I wasn't even trolling. Okay, I mean, I don't know. Look, that's not the most exciting unboxing experience. On one hand, you only experience that once, so like, who cares? But on the other hand, you only experience that once. So it kind of should be a little, impressive, especially with the cost of these phones. I don't know. What do you guys think down in the comments? And of course, if you guys have any kind of opinions or questions on anything that I'm talking about here, please leave it down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I love, sparking little conversations down there. So, what do we got here? You got your volume. You got an action button. It's interesting that that's still a mute. And then your sleep/Siri/power button. And that's a pretty nice addition, at least for me, coming from the 15 Pro Max, is that camera button slider, because I primarily used my action button as a camera button. So let's get this going together. Always so satisfying. Wow. So first and foremost, now I'm sure none of you guys really cared, but let me show you something. So this is my iPhone 15 Pro Max, also purchased from Apple Japan. And the iPhone 15 Pro Max, if you're from the United States, does not have a SIM tray, but this one does. Purchased from Japan, has a SIM tray. Now, the 17 Pro Max, as you may know, a lot of them were ditching the SIM tray. I thought it was primarily going to be like a United States / maybe Canada thing. But without the SIM tray, you got like an extra 200 milliamp hours of battery, which equates to like, I don't know, 2 hours or something. So part of me was wishing that I didn't have the SIM tray so I could have the extra battery. But I do a lot of traveling for work. I've been to a few countries where they don't have eSIM compatibility. So being able to throw a SIM card in there has been very, very nice. So I'm kind of happy, kind of sad. It's a bittersweet thing to have more battery, but not have a physical SIM tray slot. But at least it's nice if you do have the eSIM only option, that you now at least get a trade-off for it. You're getting more battery. Let me kind of go over what I think about the design of this phone. Now, usually every 2 years, Apple will have a formula and stick with it. So like, if I were to hold these phones next to each other, like, the average Joe Schmo is not going to be able to tell a difference. You have like a matte-ish glass back, titanium around the edges, and aside from that camera button, and obviously if you're holding them close to each other, you can't tell that this is a little bigger, like 0.3 inches. It's kind of indiscernible, the difference. Now this one has sparked a lot of controversy, and that is primarily due to the aluminium and the glass little square here. Now, on the blue color in person, I really can't even, like, it looks nice, but the silver, I have seen it look weird in pictures, haven't seen it in person, where the contrast is just a little bit much, and then people are going crazy over the Apple logo not being centered to the iPhone but being centered to the glass. People are nuts. I think that this looks great. I love that there is a vapor chamber in here that dissipates the heat into the actual chassis of the phone. And of course, let's say it together, aluminum. The fact that this is aluminum, look, there's a couple of good sides and drawbacks, and let's talk about one of these controversial topics. The fact that if you drop this soft aluminum and the anodizing process with, either blue or orange, one of those very stand-offish colors, stand-outish, what have you, that soft metal is a little brittle and it's going to scuff and dent and break. You're going to want to have a case for this iPhone. It's funny how the iPhone Air became like the most indestructible iPhone out of the lineup, being how thin it is and whatnot. And this one is the most sensitive. But the fact that cooling has gotten better, I know that either the 18 Pro or maybe even a mid-year refresh, you're going to get some cool colors out of this. And I think aluminum gives you that opportunity to kind of have that better cooling performance, aluminum and different colors, whereas you're kind of restricted with the anodization process of titanium. So these are stronger metals, but no vapor chambers, doesn't dissipate heat as well as this. And a lot of people are saying, oh, maybe it's like a cost saving measure for Apple to go this route. Maybe it is, but I'm gonna accept that and just be happy with the trade-offs of the cooler phone with the vapor chamber. It is a little lighter, and of course new colors, which I enjoy. And honestly, this plateau, if you will, I know that they're housing new internals for this, but I gotta say, I don't mind it. It's a neat little design update, and the fact that it actually has a practical application is cool to know as well. But it just kind of sucks seeing phones like, I think it's like the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, how they've essentially turned the rest of the plateau into a screen for selfies and whatnot. It's just Android always out there getting ahead of the curve, doing cool things, but as a phone and just doing phone things, I think that this is the pinnacle of phoneage, in my personal opinion. Now, one other thing that I was very curious about is this supposed anti-reflective screen. So this anti-reflective coating, I could see how the light dissipates a little. Now let me get a 17 Pro Max. And I don't really think this may be a fair comparison, because these phones have screen protectors on them, which if you don't have a screen protector, you are kind of insane, which is exactly why I purchased this Taurus screen protector. And I also got a Taurus case. So if you're curious about this, drop a sub, and I'll be dropping these videos here soon. Purchased these with my own dollary dues, but the screen protector said it retained anti-reflective properties, so I'm really curious to see how that actually plays out. But right off the bat, I can kind of tell that it's anti-reflective. As you could see here, that light in my room, like, it's reflecting. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the important thing of the matter is that with the iPhone Air, they're able to make this bad boy a little thicker and actually make it a little bit more pro. 48 megapixels of cameras. iPhones have always taken great pictures and videos, and I'm not really a snob. Like, this thing has been fantastic for me. My wife loves the 16 Pro Max, but this is the most iPhone of iPhones ever. Alright, so that is kind of just my first initial impressions. I'm going to transfer all my stuff on here, and it's going to take a while. It's already a little late here in all JP, and I may make a review video. Let me know what you guys want to see about this phone specifically, and I'll include it in the video if there's an appetite for it. Well, further ado, thank you guys for dropping by, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.